Well, the MLS season is back. I'm going to start this video slash review with a little bit of a or off-season review since it's first video. I didn't do any off-season videos. Our interim coach, we'll start there, left in the off-season, and we appointed Cameron Knowles, MNUFC 2. Coach to be our interim coach for however long it took us to get our new sporting director in, who had a little bit of a visa issue, which took the whole process of getting a new manager in a little bit slow. We should say that. And we still don't have one. They do have their eyes set on a assistant a set peach coach for Man United, I believe. Yeah, Man United. I forgot his name. I think Eric Ramsey. He'd be, if he was appointed, to be the youngest coach in MLS. And then that's not, I believe it's like 95% confirmed. A lot of reasonable sources are saying that that'll be our next coach. But we'll see what happens. Should be honestly announced in the imminent future. Then we'll get into the new players in defense. Victor Eriksson, young center back from Sweden. We didn't see him tonight, but we could be seeing a lot more of them. It's nice that we're bringing in a lot of young center backs, and we moved on from Coleman. I think that's a good sign, as well as a lot of the youth in the team from the new sporting director. The way he's going, I think this youth movement might be good. I think it's fresh with the old players, just to see young, fresh players. A lot of youth development we've squandered in the past, so it's nice to get some of these younger players in. Dodson, USL prospect who played well in the second division, plays left back, so an outside back. Super draftees, Morgan Dugan, who just signed a contract. Hugo Butchard hasn't officially signed yet, but will be signing hopefully soon. The other two super draft picks we picked will be going back to college. We own the rights to them. In the midfield, joining Arajo Bryan, who scored a goal tonight on his debut. Super excited for him to come off the bench. Costa Rican midfielder on loan. There is an option to buy if he does good, which so far he started pretty well when he came off the bench tonight. I liked a lot what I saw from him, and a lot of the fresh faces tonight was excellent. For our second midfield signing, we dipped in the USL talent pool again. Panamanian international Carlos Harvey, after he won the USL championship, joined us. We've signed a couple players from Phoenix Rising in the past, not always have worked out, like Musa in the past, but hopefully this one is a little bit better. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Youngster Moises Neyman was on the bench tonight. Just 20 years old. Very young when he signed his professional contract. A lot of the theme here is a lot of young players, which is good to bring in youth, like I said. But a lot of these players we're going to learn a lot more about throughout this season when we see them play and whatnot. And I could be missing a couple players. I'm just going through everything that it says on the roster and everything. Jordan Abeo Smith looked good in some preseason games. 22-year-old, came from New England Revolution 2, looked good in MLS Next Pro last year, doing well in that league. Let's see what else. I talked about the two other draft picks, Marcus Caldera and Boubacar Niang, both going back to college. And then also we recalled some players, Tania Sawani coming back from his loan, who's had an assist tonight. Caden Clark is almost kind of like a new signing. We signed him last year, but we didn't really get to see much of him at all last year, due to the fact that we signed him a little bit after the summer window. But everyone else is back that we had from last year. Not everyone, but I'm going to go through the roster. Clint Irwin, Devin Paddleford, Zarek Valentin, Miguel Tapias, Franco Francopane, Joseph Rosales, Manuel Reynoso, Sanbing Jung, Michael Boxall, Robin Lud, Will Trapp, Bongi, Timu, Pookie, DJ Taylor, Patrick Weah, Kevin Arriaga, Hassani Dotson, and Loic Menzavani, who is MNUFC 2 player who signed a contract today for the first team. He looked really good actually today when he came on, which was awesome. And then we have 3 players on loan. Brislow went back on loan to England. Morris Dugan is not on loan. He's getting his visa, so he's currently unrostered technically, but we talked about him a little bit. And Mikel Marquez is back on loan in Sweden. So that's that. And yeah, that's about the off season. There wasn't too much. I think the jerseys are real nice. And now we can get into the game, the first game. And we started, I was being optimistic. I did vote that we were going to win. So I was right. I'm not going to take credit for that because it was just out of pure fanism. I wasn't too optimistic going into the season with, no head coach. We have a head coach, but I think Cameron Knowles has done a really good job with the team for whatever direction we go. If we do go with Ramsey, the Man United coach or assistant coach that we've been kind of looking at. But the whole first half, we had corner after corner, chance after chance. And we ended up finally scoring off a cross that got tipped by Stuver, ends up landing on Robin Lud's foot, taps it in. Great finish from Robin. And that's someone who we missed a lot last year, only played 10 games for us last year. And him and Pookie playing in the same team for the first time, for us at least. And yeah, it was just awesome to see him score right away. I got so excited about our good start. I almost forgot to go through our lineup. St. Clair in net, Rosales at left back, Tapias Boxall in the middle, Taylor at right back, Dotson, Trapp, and Lud in the middle, Sandbag at right, Pookie up top, and Franco out left. But like I said, we started the game absolutely excellent. We honestly could have been up 2 or 3 goals. St. Clair had little to do, had a couple things in like 1 or 2 things to do with the whole first half, but that's about it. We were really, really, really dominant in the first half. I thought to go into the first half only up 1-0 was a bit unlucky. We could have had 1-2. Stuver was standing on his head for a couple. Some great saves from him. So credit to the Austin goalie, because it could have been dead and buried by halftime, but it wasn't going into halftime 1-0. And going in at 1-0, they actually made a sub early on due to injury too. But I don't think that had anything to do with how well we were playing. We were playing excellent, I think, regardless of the injury, because the last 15 minutes after, we played really well. Still, coming out of halftime, Rosales picked up a yellow card shortly after the halftime. But second half, we didn't play as well as the first half, but we still played great. I thought we just kind of let off the gas a little bit towards the end once we made some subs. And once we got some fresh legs in there, we kind of were hitting them more on the counter, and everything about that looked great. I thought our counters with Tani, Arajo Bryan, Caden Clark coming in, playing excellent, playing in through balls, creating the pass to Tani, who lays it off to Rondo Bryan, who ends up getting the winner, which would bring us up 2-0 late on. But the whole game itself, we played really, really well. And credit to Cameron Knowles and his staff for getting the squad ready for this. But like I said, 56-minute Rosales yellow card. We get 3 subs from FC Austin, and they were trying to switch things up. Things weren't working good for them. And credit to them, when they did make these subs, they started to play a lot better and create more chances. I'll give them that. O'Brien was giving Rosales a little bit of a headache on the right side, but we end up being pretty strong in our defense, and we do end up giving a goal after we do score the second late on in the 93rd or 4th plus. But in the 68th minute, Orlando O'Brien comes on to make his debut for Robin Lod. Tani comes on for Timu, and that was great. Tani played outstanding. I want to see him coming on off the if we're seeing Pookie for 65, 70 minutes and Tani's coming on the last 15, 25, however long it is, I think that's pretty good, as well as Tani getting, a handful of starts here or there, maybe in hopefully the Open Cup, depending on whatever situation happens with that, or Leagues Cup games, just, not the every game, but he looked great coming on in the 68th minute. Around O'Brien, like I said, I've been impressed with the new signings once they came on. Loic Manzaveni, who signed a contract today for the first team, getting called up kind of from our second team, looked really good coming on in the 77th minute for Sandbang, as well as Caden Clark, who came back from Europe, from RB Leipzig after not what he would have liked to have started over there, but came back to the MLS, and he looked great, getting basically the key pass. You almost want to give him the assist, because it was the ball that played Tani in just to lay off Orlando O'Brien, but obviously not the assist, but a great key pass from Caden Clark. Does pick up a yellow card in the 82nd minute, regardless. Doesn't really do much besides, start adding to that tally for suspensions later on in the season. But super impressed from the squad. Like I said, that goal in the 90th is the match winner, even though at the time we didn't think it was. They end up scoring in the 94th minute after we kind of just broke down a little bit defensively. Valentin does come on the 87th minute. I think he gets sucked in a little bit. Not necessarily is his fault, but no one's really on that backside. And Brio, I believe the player's name was, has an easy tap in on the back stick, really. Not very back stick, but just the ball gets through, and it's just a really easy tap in for him. Nothing St. Clair can really do, but I mean, 1 or 2 kicks after that, the whistle's blown, and we get our first 3 points of the season. And not to mention, we didn't start the game with Reynoso due to injury. Bongi was not going to be available due to visa issues, getting his visa from the South American or South African government and U.S. government. Don't know what side was holding it up, but regardless, he didn't have it available, so he wasn't going to be available for this game. Should be available for the home game next week against Columbus Crew. First home game against the champs, so it'll be a tough one. Christian Ramirez will be back. Going against the champs this early, it's kind of going to be a huge test. Plus, I mean, maybe we'll have Cameron Knowles as head coach, but I really do like what I saw. I like how we played the play style. We were really aggressive, pressing. We didn't just sit back with the 1-0 lead. In the second, we really did hit him on the counter quite, not all the time, but we were looking for it. And when it came off, we looked dangerous quite a bit with Tani up top or Pookie early in the second. But that first 45, I believe at one point we had 8, 9, 10 corners, and every other cross looked pretty dangerous. We just got to get the consistency level up on our set pieces, and we should I mean, after that first 45, we should be shaking our heads after not being up 3-0, but we do end up getting the win because, anything can happen. Like, as we saw, they get the late goal on. We were going to get the win tonight, but you just can't let teams come back, claw their way back in MLS because late goals, stuff gets crazy, you drop points, end up not making the playoff push at the end, even though we started strong. It's a long, long season. So great 3 points. And we play Columbus Crew next week. Hopefully, I know they're in the works of getting a coach in for sure. But hopefully that process continues. We get a coach in. We continue to plan for the summer window. Just because we won tonight, I don't know how smooth the sailing of the season is going to be. But as long as we are supportive of the team and stick by them, I think there'll be some good moments, and I think we'll make the playoffs for sure. I think we'll have a better season last year. I think there's only up to go. I think we can't get worse. I mean, you can get worse than we did last year for sure. Don't want to, I'll knock on wood here for us, but I think we'll perform a lot better. I think injuries hurt us a lot last year. As long as we can stay healthy, I think that's huge. Staying healthy is huge. Missing players like your DPs, like Robin Lod, for that long of time was killer last year. So as long as we keep him healthy, Reynoso, etc., I think we'll be fine. But yeah, I have no complaints. I think it's obviously early. A lot of things can change, but a really, really surprisingly good first start to the season. And that's it for me. Any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them in the comments section. And yeah, come on, you loons, as always.